Equipment check. What's required? What's recommended?
Okay, secure the jack under the lower control arm right here, then remove the nut and washer from the bolt right here, but leave that mounting bolt in place. Using the 22mm socket, loosen the lower control arm frame bolts so the lower control arm can drop free later. Just like any time you lift, you're going to an alignment shop right when this job's done. Use a 19mm socket to completely remove both bolts from the mount bracket. This next part is always the hardest for me, but at the top of the assembly, remove the old nut with a pair of vice grips or vice pliers and a 17mm wrench. Alright, here's all the nuts and bolts and washers you've either removed or loosened. Now it's time to very slowly, while standing back, lower the jack gently and watch the spring decompress. It's going to look like this. I dropped the lower control arm, wiggled the mounting bolt out, and now you can pull the whole assembly out. It's no longer under pressure. I'll be raising the front the approximate 1.1 inches, so I'll be setting that circlip to the middle setting. And here's your other options right here and the respective approximate height gained from them. Alright, take the dust boot off, put the spring seat on, put the dust boot back on. You may or may not have this little plastic clip. I did. If you don't worry about it. Go ahead and install your original spring. Make sure it lines up. It's pretty obvious. Just sits there. And then take the smaller of these concave washers and put it concave side up. Alright, time to reinstall that completed assembly. Go ahead and make sure it mounts right through the top. Pull that lower control arm up. Take the old mounting bolt, stick it through there, and put the washer and nut back on it. Now as you lift the control arm, make sure you actually find the hole correctly up there. And turn the spring till it sits in the old indentation in the rubber of the mount. You'll see what I mean. Alright, with your jack back in place under the lower control arm like it used to be, go ahead and slowly jack it up. Put the rubber grommet on. Put the larger of the two washers concave side down on, and the supplied 18mm nut on top. Then you're going to go ahead and tighten that down just opposite of the way you did before. You're going to tighten it until that rubber grommet is almost the size of that washer on top of it. Go ahead and reinstall your 19mm bolts in that mounting bracket, and you should have a little bit of play here so you can kind of wiggle it to get it lined up. Tighten them all the way down. Alright, very important we torque everything to spec. So that lower shock bolt is 101 foot-pounds. These 19mm bolts on the mounting bracket are each 103. And then those frame bolts on that lower control arm are going to be 96 foot-pounds. Both sides are identical, so it's pretty easy. Now that you're done, go ahead and go get that alignment right away.